Hey guys, welcome back to XTA. Today we're going to do a review of a device called the X1. It's from a company called NO.1. Here's the box, and here we have the device itself. It's an IP68 certified device, so it's pretty ruggedized from the sense of what you can do to this device. I will go ahead and do a quick unboxing, a quick review of it, and then we'll get in directly into the meat of it, of doing the ruggedized testing and see how far can we push this device. Let's check it out. So what we have here is a 5-inch 720p display. It has capacitive buttons on the bottom of the screen. You have menu, home, back, and search. You have the front-facing 5-megapixel camera with the usual sensors under here. They're located right there. You have the speaker on top, a microphone sitting right there on the bottom, and it does already have a screen protector built in. It came like that directly out of the box when we received it. Nothing on the left. On the back, we have the actual panel that needs to be screwed in with those two screws. It actually cannot be popped by itself. You do need that multi-tool that they provide us from the box. The other thing here, we have an LED flash provided, as well as 13 megapixel back-facing camera with the microphone on the back. Other than that, we have here is a single speaker that looks almost like two because of the way the grills are put up, but it's really a single speaker. And that's it. On the right side, all we have is a volume up and down and a power button. On the top, we have the audio jack. It's securely covered with a waterproof sealing. And on the bottom, we have the USB cable connector, charger/connector, also screwed in at this point and very well sealed, providing us the IP68 certification to be able to actually submerge it within underwater. The one thing I want to make sure you guys are aware of, obviously here, yeah, we are running a 720p display, so we need to make sure that the expectations are set to that. Other than that, the actual resolution on the screen looks pretty good. We're able to get into the device and it runs pretty smoothly. Settings over here. We'll scroll all the way right down to the bottom. And I'm just going to show you guys right here. It says it's Android 4.4.2 under Android version, but when we press and hold it, it kind of gives us a little bit of an interesting thing. It says Android 4.4.2 KitKat, but it shows us the Jelly Bean Easter egg. So my thing would be is it's really running Jelly Bean under the hood with some modifications to make it a little bit better. The kernel on the system is an MIUI kernel as well, so you can see that the version software is not exactly the best, but my main recommendation here is that the operating system runs well. I was able to install it. Exchange works well on this. It does have a mail application. The Play Store and the Maps application were the only two Google services installed, but you're able to download and install all other things directly from the Play Store. The other thing is I was able to do some speed tests, and one of the main things I was able to check here is the speed. Since this is not an LTE device, I was able at the maximum be able to do 7 megabytes down and 1 megabyte up. I'll bring up a picture here right there, and this is actually pretty good considering the fact that it is not an LTE device. The other thing here, I also did some benchmarks, ran the N22 benchmark just to kind of see what we're looking at. Because this is an MTK or MediaTek, a quad-core 1.3 processor, we were expecting somewhere, in the round number. So 19,979 is really what we're looking at. But unfortunately, from the ranking standpoint, it does show it at the bottom. I look at these as kind of a guideline, not necessarily the rule of the game. So as long as your device runs fast or works directly, because this is a near stock version of Android, you really have very, very almost no lag, no stutters, no issues directly with the device. The camera launches very well, and you're able to basically open it up. You notice here the interface. It has some customization for HDR, beauty face, panorama, smiling to pick a picture. We're going to start off by doing the hammering test. We're going to hammer this using the back of the device. We have a metal plate in the back, and we're going to go ahead and use that. Go ahead and turn on the device. Still works. You guys can see that. I'll make sure it looks at the angle right here. So first test is done. We hammered that in directly. The metal plate in the back is very solid. We have a little scuffing on the device, but the device is still holding. We'll move off. We're going to go to the next test, which is the 3 walnuts. And this time we're going to use the front part of the device. So what we're going to do for this device, and the way it's actually demonstrated, we're going to go through. We have our front-facing screen, and the screen is on, and we have display. 1. The device is still on. The device restarted, but it's still running. So we're still looking at a functioning device. Let's go ahead and look at it. Yep, here's the boot screen. While it's booting up, we'll go for the third one. The device rebooted one more time, but it's still running. Okay, so now we're outside, music's playing. Notice that it almost went to 79, and it actually can get pretty loud again. It's a front-facing speaker that can benefit of just being able to get really good sound. And again, $150 right out the door. This is the actual speaker in the top side. Sound's still working very nice. We'll go here. Same messages, perfect. Okay, so this is going to be our last and final test, which essentially is a drop test. I think it's an example of any kind of durability for any device. So we're going to do two drop tests, a back drop and we're going to do a face drop. So first thing we're going to do is the back. We're going to make sure that the device is on. And you can see it here. And we're just going to drop the device straight on the floor. 1, 2, 3. Device turns on, you can see here, survived it, no issues. As far as actual scuffs, we have nothing else going on here. It's actually pretty good. And we're going to go forward with the next test. So this is going to be our drop, our front drop. We already dropped it on the back. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. Device turned on, fully functional and working. Last thing I wanted to make sure you guys are aware of, obviously we did a lot of things to this device. There's a lot of scuffs on the screen here, but as I mentioned before, this device has a screen protector. And all the scuffs and all the things that we saw before were not even remotely done on the screen itself. It's actually done to the screen protector. This is by far the most fun device I've had access to for a while. It's also the most ruggedized device for a while. And I'm not talking about specifically just the specs. So I'm just going to recap most of the things that I liked about this. But it's the fact that how ruggedized and how strong this is. And that I can just basically go, you know, especially with the summer now, I can take my son. And as you guys saw with the video, we went to the pool, we swam, and I was able to take video. I even dropped the phone all the way to the bottom of the pool and it survived and it came up. The one thing with the pool though, I just want to mention is sometimes the water kind of sits a little bit over the microphone. Make sure you kind of, I would say, tap the water out and let it just dry and it should be fine. The audio quality on the device is pretty decent. You got dual SIM. You're able to get up to 3G speeds in the US. Unfortunately, that's the maximum. But as far as when I did my actual testing on this, I was able to get up to 7 megabytes down and about a meg up. So not too shabby. It's still fast enough to be able to basically do general streaming, watch videos, Netflix, and so on. I would have liked a slightly higher quality on the resolution on the screen, but again, for what you wanted, you really don't want to get that much more. I like the ruggedization. The 5 megapixel front-facing camera is pretty decent as long as you had good lighting. The back one performs quite well. You just have to use the manual settings in there and be able to use it. It has HDR. It does have the ability to basically expand the memory using the micro SD in the back. It has OTG in the as far as connection. You can connect the mouse and keyboard to this, an external hard drive. All of those things are functional. It's really kind of a versatile device. The version of Android that's running on this is really 4.2. It's Jelly Bean. It says 4.4, but I think it's just probably a mismarking on there. It works quite well. It has all the same functionality that I would expect from it. I was able to load Nova on this at one point and then check it out, that it worked fine. Just remember, it only has 1 gig of RAM, so you kind of have to balance out the amount of things running in the background. But other than that, I think it works good. The speaker was actually pretty decent. It's a single speaker that outputs pretty good volume. For conversation and even for music playback, it was pretty decent. And like I said, it's a 720p display, a 5-inch display. It's not bad. And then we have all the capacitive buttons on the bottom. So to kind of wrap it up, it's a great phone if you're looking for a ruggedized phone. If you like sports, you like to be outdoors, and you don't want to worry about your phone falling out of your hand or falling on the floor and bouncing a couple of times, this can take it. Do I recommend you doing all the tests that I did? No, I would say be careful, but if you're going to do it, this would be the device to test it with. Just be aware, obviously, that there are chances of things may not work and some things may not be great. Again, thank you very much for allowing us to review this device. This is a great little device that actually does exactly what it's intending, and with the quad-core MediaTek processor that we have in here, I would have expected it to be a lot slower. Normal day-to-day gaming, just normal things, it works quite well for what it's intending. Again, it's not a flagship, it's really meant to survive things. An IP68 certified device, and it does live through that. So as usual, like and subscribe to this channel, like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys on the next one.